Oh my god, this is so cringy. Like, from everything I've been taught my whole life is to not talk about, like, awards in front of other people.
Accepted Stanford students reveal their extracurriculars and accomplishments.
I don't know how to say it. Okay, so I face this problem so predominantly on my applications. I didn't know whether to brag or be humble.
What were your top 3 activities?
The first one was research. So I did a bit of like investigation here at school, but then I kind of talked to professors at Stanford and reached out to them, and then was able to go there for 3 months to research there. So that was like a biggie. And yeah, especially like coming from Madrid because it was like unusual. And then
that's dope. What?
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah. And then after that, just coming from here, so basically every summer I went to the US and I got scholarships to go there. So I went to Brown one summer, I went to Yale, and I went to Stanford as well. So that was also different to the rest of the Spanish people. And then aside from that, I did a lot of volleyball during high school. So I did it for every year. And I was co-captain, and we won the regional championships. Well, we got second place twice, which was unfortunate, but it was good. And then I was setter. And then the fourth one, the extra one, although I had more, was ice skating. So I skated a lot before high school and a little during high school. And we won third place in nationals, and we won first place in an international competition.
My top 3 extracurriculars would be at the top academic decathlon. I participated in academic decathlon for 3 years, and I was the captain for 2 years. My second highest would probably be Key Club, and I served as secretary between my sophomore and junior year. And for my third extracurricular, I'm kind of lumping a few together. It's like science competitions and fairs. I competed in Samsung's Solving Tomorrow competition, California Nano System Institute's Nanovation competition at UCLA.
So my top 3 extracurriculars. So the first one definitely has to be research work, which was the project long-term project that I talked about in my Common App essay. I did it for like 4 and 5 years, and most of it was independent work, but I did consult some professors time to time, and I presented it at a conference in Lisbon and all. And my second and most important extracurricular will probably have to be how I worked as a researcher related to blockchain and reputation model, very technical stuff. And the third one has to be how I used Twitter. I got a lot of followers and used it to run a social work campaign, in a sense, about education and a new doctrine of educating through video calls and preparing stuff and all. So those 3 were probably my main ones.
My first extracurricular that I put was founding my genetic data startup that put genetic data on the blockchain to share it with researchers. The number 2 one I put is it's just because, it was like I spoke at technology conferences and in media. In theory, it wasn't actually an activity, it just came up and I just put it there. And then the third one, I put I was on the investment committee for Babel Ventures, which is a biotech fund. And then other ones that I thought were helpful to my application was Builder and Maker, and then I listed a bunch of different projects that I had built. And then volleyball, because I played competitively for many years, and pilot, because I have my pilot license.
I guess just the first 3 I wrote in my application were, I run 2 nonprofits in Thailand. So one is about increasing the accessibility of period products to women in northern Thailand. So that's one. The second nonprofit is about gender-based violence activism. So we're all about increasing awareness of this issue and creating greater infrastructural support for women who are endangered by gender-based violence. And the third extracurricular I wrote about is attending the Telluride Association summer program last year.
I made 2 mobile apps to help locally here. One of them was to help in physics classes in my school, and the other was to help farmers control their farms during wars here because they can't reach them. I also talked about how I was in the student parliament in my UNRWA school because I'm a third generation refugee. So I attended UNRWA schools and I was elected as the head of the school parliament there. And the third one was about music. And I talked about my own band, which I founded and I'm the vocalist at. And I talked how we sing around Gaza and how we show the world that Gaza still has peace and love despite the wars and conflicts going on here. So yeah, it was computer, student government, and music.
Something that I think might be useful to some students. For example, my mom ran a catering from our house, and so we would often produce food for 200 or 250 people from our kitchen. And so for anyone who has a family stuff or things they do with the family, I think they can also include that, which is also helpful.
What were your top accomplishments in your extracurriculars?
Okay, I want to preface this by saying that it's super braggy, and I really wouldn't say this in real life. So I apologize in advance, but I also want to share the information. So a bunch of articles started getting written. So Fortune magazine called me tomorrow's tech leader, so I put it as my honor, tomorrow's tech leader. And then top 30 under 30 developers, Woman of the Year by Crypto Chicks, top 29 Canadians by Refinery 29, and top 23 Canadian women in tech. It just ended up being a lot of websites that compiled lists, and then I would be on the list, and then I would just say it was an award. And then for the investment committee didn't have any. For IBM, when I worked there over the summer and throughout the year, we had a patent pending. The patent got declined, but while I was writing and submitting the application, it was pending. So that was convenient. Or not convenient, it was unfortunate, but it was pending at the time. For volleyball, I wrote, so my school team made OFSA, which is the Ontario, provincials, and we got silver, qualified for volleyball nationals in 2017-18, provincials, just a bunch of volleyball awards. Yeah.
Extracurriculars has to be related to my research. I, published 2 papers, 1 conference paper and 1 journal paper, so that has to be the top part. And other than that, one related to the blockchain project where I was a researcher, me and my team got a provisional patent. Let's see how it goes. And related to the third part, the social project and the Twitter social initiatives we started. I don't know how you can quantify that, but I think we did well. That's all I can say. And I got around 14,000 followers on Twitter. So I think that's one way you can quantify that.
For ice skating, the fact that we won first place in an international competition and third place in nationals. And for volleyball, second place in Madrid, which was pretty good. And then for the extracurriculars, the other ones, I would say just doing the research or getting the scholarship, but I wouldn't say there wasn't a special honor or something.
I have won a couple of national debating tournaments, and I've gotten Best Speaker awards in them. Also singer, so I've also won top prizes for in international singing competitions, and I also won several language awards as well.
I think my research definitely made me stand out because in the the personalized note written by your admissions officer, he pretty much talked about that research and how he wants me to continue that at Stanford and use the resources at Stanford to delve deeper into that topic. So I think the research I did with using satellite imagery to target food insecurity, I think that's what made me stand out.
How did you pick the extracurriculars that you committed to in high school?
Well, I'm super, super passionate about women's issues, and it's just such a huge thing in Thailand, and no one really talks about it, no one really cares, because we live in such a conservative society, And so I guess I just, looked around and I was like, there's nothing around me that, helps these women uplift their lives. So I was like, okay, I'll just do it then.
I saw that I was attracted to study computer science and political science. So I focused on mentioning the things that are related to computers and politics. And I also mentioned music as it's the thing that I do for pleasure.
I did not get started on any of this stuff because my intention was to get into a university. And I think that's so important because I just did it because I loved it. And I think it's important for people to do what they love. So if you try it and you hate it, then don't do it. But if you try it and you enjoy it, then continue doing it. So for me, I got started in grade 9. It definitely did not happen overnight, or like grade 8. Like, it was a very long process when I got assigned like a project from school on like a cryptocurrency. So I made a cryptocurrency and then like recorded a presentation of me talking about like how to make your own cryptocurrency in my journey. And then I posted it on YouTube. And then I like just did, so like I got involved in like learning about AI and learning about brain-computer interfaces. So like I built a project of like a mind-controlled toy car using EEGs or like a prosthetics or like robots. And for everything I built, I would make a video and put it on my YouTube. And then I would also go to a lot of like conferences and meetups to like get to know people who are professionals, because I only knew my friends at school who weren't really involved in like these like professional spaces. And so I think by getting to know a lot of people who are older, they help you a lot because they give you advice and sometimes can connect you with other people or opportunities that also helped accelerate my growth, I think. And so, yeah, for me, I just got started and it accumulated over time. Like, people would start inviting me to speak at their events. And then when you speak at their events, you meet more people. And then it was just like a reaction from that. So I recommend like do what you do and then create something that can like garner, what's the word? Like, that can grow while you sleep, in the sense, like, one thing I enjoy about like startups and media and content is that you don't have to be working while your things are working for you. So I think that can be powerful as well.
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed and found this video helpful. Subscribe for more videos to this Stanford Student series, where we'll be going over awards, stats, letters of recs, additional info, and more.